off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I try to stop just to win the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who are all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with the second edition, another edition of the All Elite Dirt Sheets. I am Mike De Niro. I am joined here by my main man. Wait, wrong. There we go. TK is in the building. Tim King, thank you so much for setting this all up. I am so excited to talk AEW with you. But first of all, how you doing?
Oh, man, dude, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Last week was a blast. Pumped to come back. Another rocking Dynamite tonight. Can't wait to talk about him. I'm doing well, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And, you know, I just want to, clarify something. A lot of people was all like, oh, that was a great first guest with TK. This ain't a guest. This right here is my co-host. So let's clear that up. He's going to be here every single week. You know, a lot of TK fans from last week just know he's going to be here every single week. It's going to be fire. My
man, let's go. Pumped for this journey, bro.
We already got people in the chat. We got Emily in the chat. We have Justin in the chat. Zach in the chat. You like a rapper, right?
No, not you. Not you.
We got Ivan in the chat. What is good, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. All Elite Dirt Sheet. AEW Dynamite was fire tonight. I'm telling you, AEW's on fire. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, yeah, is this, is that, is this. Personally, I love the show, and I can't wait to get into it. So if you're ready, let's talk about some AEW Dynamite.
Dude, certainly ready. And as always, chat, we guys appreciate you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Coming off a hot AEW Dynamite watch along. You guys killed it as they always do. If you guys are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Watch alongs every day and us weekly after AEW Dynamite. So let's get into the show, baby.
Let's do it. AEW Dynamite took place in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, the Mile High Club. We had a Mile High Mayhem. I think it was Mile High Mayhem or Madness, whatever. Mile High Madness match promoted for this show, and boy, did it live up to the hype. But before we get there, let's start with the show. We start again with the promos for the women, leading into the matchup for their women's tag team title matchup between Mega Bad and the Babes of Wrath. I love that they're doing this every single week. I think it sets the show off to a right start, starting with the promo to kind of serve up what you're going to be seeing tonight on the show. So I thought that was a good plus. What about you?
Dude, we talked about it last week. It's like the WCW Clash of the Champions style. You get the Babes of Wrath out there doing their thing. You get Mega Bad right there. It just sets the tone for the show. And I love the fact that you're getting more women. Last week, we had 2 women matches on the show. Last week, we had the same start to the show with the women talking about their match, and we had the same start. Mega Bad, Babes of Wrath really got me ready to go. And I didn't even know the tag team title match was going down until yesterday. Is that when they announced the match?
I think so. A lot of this card was announced yesterday and today. There was very little known going into the show. So a lot of it was added last minute, but
I was with it. I'm with these promos. Give it to me every Dynamite, every Collision. I'm with it for sure.
Now, you remember when JBL used to call John Cena Big Match John?
Mm-hmm.
In AEW, we got First Match John, because yet again, another week, we have Jon Moxley versus Clon. Jon Moxley is really taken to this opening match, and he's doing it weekly, and he's doing it with different styles of opponents. Last week, he had a bruiser in Mark Davis. This week, we have a luchador in Clon. And I got to say, Clon really is impressive. I know there was a lot of jokes online about this guy being a copy of Hologram, but Clon is impressive. The only thing I wish is we could kind of give him his own gimmick, his own thing, because Clon being a clone of Hologram, and Hologram wasn't really that over to me to begin with. I personally think Clon is a lot more talented too. I think that Clon really needs to be his own character and really run, because the guy is very talented. We've seen him a couple weeks now on Dynamite, and this matchup did not disappoint. Moxley looked good as always, but Clon really stood out to me.
Yeah, you hit it on the head last week. I wrote that down in my notes. De Niro was right. First match, John definitely opening the show. I think this is 3 weeks in a row of him opening the show, and I love it. It just sets the tone with good wrestling. Another lengthy match. I looked at my phone. It was 7:19. The match was still going on. He didn't have to choke him out this time, which was kind of cool. I like it. Moxley's going to win these matches with diverse finishes. So I did like that. And you're right. I think, El Clon was the former Arez. He was awesome. Hologram, the former Aramis. I had the pleasure of seeing them both on the indies a couple of times. Both just studs, dude. So it was really cool to see them both doing their thing on the big screen. But I thought the match was really good, dude. I thought Clone showed out in the time he was given tonight. And he was 4-0 against the Death Riders going into it. So clearly they're giving him a small rub right there. And I thought the match was good. And Moxley just shows you how great he is, dude. His match with Takeshita was fire. His match with Dump Truck Davis was fire. Now he gets a diverse style here with El Clone. He just does it again, man. Great start to the show.
Yeah, I got to highlight this comment right here. Mox versus El Clone, I want to see more because I really want to see more after this. But I did want to say, how do you feel about these eliminator matches? Or was it? It was a Continental Champion eliminator match, but I know in other titles they have the eliminator match, and if you win the matchup, then you get a title shot. We've seen it a couple weeks ago with Brody King and MJF, and Brody King winning. Me personally, I would love for Moxley's run to have all these as title defenses, right? Yeah. So far, it looks like he has no title defenses and just all these eliminator matches because he's not defending the title until someone beats him. I would rather it just be him putting the title on the line every single week. That would show a more dominant champion, in my opinion.
These last two matches against Davis and Clone weren't title matches?
No, they were eliminator matches. So if they win, then they would get a title shot against Moxley.
No shit. Oh, I thought they were title matches. I thought Moxley was just out here basically doing his own, open challenge every week, which was cool. No, I agree with you 110%. They should definitely be title matches. However, I do like a lot of people dog the eliminator match concept. I like the concept of it, especially if you're gonna have the champion win this match like 90% of the time. Then it's okay. I mean, we got two of them on one night a couple of weeks ago, which was fucking crazy. I mean, that was random as hell, right? So as long as the champion wins most of them, I think it's okay. Because then that way, when someone does get that upset, it's actually a huge element of surprise. Like, oh shit! All right, they actually won that match. But yeah, do the title matches. Don't do the eliminator matches with Mox for sure.
I'm just looking at it as like, on the history books, like when you look back at the title defenses, you're going to see very few in between, even though he's wrestling at an amazing pace every single week. I would like for that to be like actually like down in the history books, because if you're a champion and you're having matches every single week and you're beating these people who are possible contenders for the title, then it should be an actual contender for the title in the title match. But nonetheless, he's killing
it. You're right. That cage match database for sure would look a lot better if he had 4 title defenses already instead of, I think, 2 maybe.
Yeah, for sure. So next we get a recap of Swerve and Omega and everything that went down in the main event last week. And this surprised me that the actual video package was cut off by Prince Nana, who is coming at the commentators. And then we see Swerve appear from the crowd. Now, Swerve wasn't supposed to be here. Swerve is supposed to be suspended and fined. They talked about this on Collision. So for Swerve to show up and, it's like, whatever, we're not going to listen to your fines or your suspensions. I show up whenever I want to show up. I thought that was a nice little touch because it shows that anything can happen. Anyone could show up. Even when he says that, when they say that he's not supposed to be here, he could still show up. I thought that was awesome. And Swerve cut in the promo that he did. Phenomenal. Going through life, going forward with no regrets. It's going to be fire. And I like the little nod without even saying Brody King's name. How he was pissed off that Kenny Omega said that someone else was the most dangerous man in AEW. And that's set up for something later on in the night that we'll talk about. But I love that it was the small little details from that promo, that face-to-face between Omega and Swerve, that made him just snap. Because some people may not even remember that Kenny Omega said that. But now you have to go back and be like, what did Kenny say? What was the breaking point for Swerve? I thought it was a great promo from Swerve.
Yo, bro. So I was so into the whole story. Great synopsis, by the way. I didn't know that Kenny Omega said that Brody King was the most violent man on the roster. So now that actually all comes back together, I thought the first signs of Brody and Swerve were when Brody made the comment after Swerve's promo. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Now we're going to get Brody and Swerve at Revolution. I can so fuck with that. I thought Swerve was going to come out after the Brody promo later in the night, or after that Brody match later in the night. Again, we'll talk about that later. But the promo was awesome. And Swerve changed his music not long ago. I wasn't sure why, but this was clearly why. The heel turn was clearly coming. We should have all saw it coming probably sooner than we did. I loved it. I wasn't sure how Prince Nana was going to be. Obviously, he was with Swerve when Swerve was a badass fucking heel. But right, like, how are we going to go this way? Like, everyone loves Nana. How are we going to? No, Nana's just like, fuck all you too, man. He doesn't give a shit. So Nana's there. Swerve. I love it how you felt the tension with Hangman already without him even going there, dude. He mentioned again, like he did last week, fuck, I took out all the elite. I took all the elite. I took out Nicholas. I took out Matthew. I took out Kenny. And you know he was thinking I already fucking beat Hangman's ass. And he even went back and said, when I told Hangman that I regretted everything that I did to get to the world championship, I take that back. I don't, because I'm going to fucking do it again. And I'm like, let's go, baby. I loved it. Yep. Great promo, dude.
I like how he also mentioned when he was doing all that dastardly shit that he was doing to Hangman, that was when he was his most successful in AEW, because it really was. Look, he was breaking into Hangman's house, and that led to what? A matchup against Joe, because it was I think it was Joe, Hangman, and Swerve, and then after that it was just Swerve versus Joe. Swerve becomes a champion. So all that crazy shit he was doing led to him winning the winning the world title and becoming a world champion. So why would you change the game plan now? You know, stick to what got you to the dance. You got to keep on doing that. So I like the Swerve. I always thought that Swerve was a good babyface, but the heel work that he did in AEW in 2023 and 2024 really showed why he's a master heel. And I'm so glad we're back to that.
Dude, he's so good. Just so good.
Thanks. Shout out to Dylan. World Elite made their debut on the channel. Make sure you guys check that out. The World Elite on COD. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Shout out to you, homie. Up next, we have Orange Cassidy versus Gabe Kidd. And I liked Orange Cassidy's entrance with the missing Roddy flyers. Yes. That got me thinking, though. That got me thinking, because we see Gabe Kidd, we see Clark Connors. I have a feeling that the third man in that equation is going to be Roderick Strong. And if we got Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors and Roderick Strong as a trio, that's going to be fire. But I don't know where they're leading with this Roderick Strong thing. I know he didn't want to work with the conglomeration, but I think if we had Roderick Strong and Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors going against the conglomeration, that would be a fire-ass match. But overall, this matchup was really good.
Yeah, it was. I figured Gabe Kidd would get the win. First of all, I love your shout-out with Roderick Strong leading this stable of these guys. Perfect leader for these two young pups, taking them under their wing. I don't know what that means for Finley. Do you think Finley's coming or no?
I think Finley's WWE bound.
That's what I see. That's what I thought too. I think I was starting to think with these, like, the War Dog hints, and now that they're calling him are they calling him the War Dog? What are they calling Gabe Kidd?
I think they Ready for War, Gabe Kidd.
Ready for War, yeah. So
Tron, yeah.
So they're like mentioning already kind of the War Dog. So I don't know. But if it's not Finley, I think Roderick Strong would be awesome with those two guys. Perfect compliment to them. Gabe Kidd's just such a badass. The match was really good. So I was shocked that Kidd just kind of got a clean win over Orange like that. Does it seem like Orange is losing more lately than usual?
I've been noticing that. I think that Orange has been losing. Going into this matchup, though, I was kind of scared because I think that Gabe Kidd being new to the roster, even though he's been seen a lot, but now he's like officially signed to AEW, I do think that he needs to pick up a big victory. So if we would have had Orange Cassidy win, I would think that would stunt Gabe Kidd's growth. So I'm glad that Gabe Kidd won because, this guy, he has the complete aura. Like the way he came out all fucking like on his all fours, like dude looks like a psychopath. And we've seen like the promos and all that. I'm very excited for Gabe Kidd on the AEW roster. But I think that he definitely needed the win, and he got the win, so I was cool with that.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the post-game or the post-match shenanigans, too. Clark Connors coming out. They're getting the beat down on Orange. Darby's going to come out. Darby looked like just a complete assassin, dude. Just a mental case out there flying around with the skateboard, dude. So I thought that was cool. Do you think we're going to get a 2-on-2 match at Revolution between the four of them, or what's the setup here?
See, that's interesting because I don't think we really need Gabe Kidd versus Darby again. I think didn't we get that at World's End? Mm-hmm. So I would do a tag match. I think that set him up with the tag match. Since we are showing Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy, then that could be where Roddy, if he does, join the War Dogs, that would be where Roddy costs them the matchup. But who would be that third man for Cassidy and Darby if they go that route? Mark Briscoe, maybe? Because
definitely.
Which will also be a great trio team, but I think that it probably will be a tag match at Revolution because I don't think we want to go back to the well of Gabe Kidd and Darby. They already had a sick-ass matchup at World's End.
Yeah, you got to do like a tornado tag or something, street fight between the four of them, and just let them fucking have fun with it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm totally with that. It is announced for next week we're getting Thekla versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Title, and I'm excited for this. I thought that Thunder Rosa's Women's World Title, her reign was really good until it got cut short due to injury, and I always wanted to see her back at that level. She did return 2024, early 2025 before she got injured again, and she looked good before she got injured again. So I'm hoping that she could come back, could be a real big player in the women's division, and I don't think she's winning the title, but if she could be a top contender that's in there and mixing it up, stays healthy, I think that's a good, person to have in the division. I'm excited for this matchup. We then saw a backstage interview between Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa. They're going to be teaming up against the Sisters of Sin at Collision, but Chris Statlander was telling Thunder Rosa, just be careful, be careful. It was a little weird. Did you, am I reading too much into that, or was it like Chris Statlander was setting Thunder Rosa up for something?
It definitely felt weird. And I don't know if it was just trying to create like some diversity between or animosity between those two, which might set up a triple threat at Revolution. Because I was going to ask you, like, where do you think that they're going to go with this? So obviously Thekla is going to beat Thunder Rosa, but maybe Statlander tries to help her, cost her the match, and we get a triple threat between them at Revolution. Or do you think we're going to go back to the well and go Statlander Thekla one-on-one again?
I think we should do a triple threat match. I think that's a good idea, especially if you have Thekla beat Thunder Rosa. You only have another week before Revolution. So to set up a contender then and then try to push that as your main women's attraction matchup for Revolution, I think it would be better if we start setting it up next week. Maybe the Sisters of Sin try to make the interference. Chris Statlander comes out, inadvertently cost Thunder Rosa, leading to a triple threat. So I like that idea.
It's perfect booking right there. Yeah, that would be a real fun match for Revolution too.
Yeah, definitely. Talk about fun matches. Next up on the card, we got Kevin Knight, the Jet, versus Mansour. And I forgot that Mansour was even a part of this roster. He's been on Ring of Honor, I believe, a lot lately with MXM Collection. But Kevin Knight, weekly, showing why this man is the future. I know he said he's the future ending now, but this guy really has been showing every single week how talented he is, and I see big, big things in his future.
Yeah, you got to think they're going to put a single strap on him sooner than later. I got maybe 6 months max. I mean, what are we calling this? The Kevin Knight Showcase? 10 minutes, every week now. So last week we had the Beast Mortos, which I thought was awesome. That kind of cruiserweight WCW throwback feel. This week it was kind of just get our young up and coming superstar on TV in any way possible, and I was with it. And it's kind of cool too. So last week they did I wish they did it this week. They mentioned Mansour being a part of the trios with the MXM collection with Johnny Nitro or Johnny TV, whatever the fuck his name is, and what's Mace? What's his name? Is Masse?
Yeah, I think it's Masse, Madden or whatever they're
yeah. So with those guys, so they should have did the same stipulation. Where if the Beast beat Knight last week, they would have got a trios title shot. They should have did it if Mansour beat Knight. They would have got a trios title shot. I digress. That's just nitpicking. I love the fact, dude, that kid is so athletic. Every time he does the standing Hurricane Rana while the guy's sitting on the top rope, it just blows my mind.
Nasty. And I love it. What are they calling it? The UFO splash? The way he turns in the air and hits that frog splash. Sick, man. It's nasty. He gets on the mic afterwards and he says that he knows at Revolution that Hangman's going to mop the floor with MJF. And he asked Hangman to be the first guy that Hangman puts that title up against. I think that's pretty cool. I don't see Hangman winning the title, but I think that that's pretty cool that we already are trying to see what this kid could do if given a title shot. We've already seen him in there with the likes of Darby. We see him in there with the likes of Swerve. So I don't think that he's too far off from being ready for that spot. I mean, throw him into the deep end and see what he could do.
No, I think also, I mean, that would be. Let's be real. We're talking about North American Championship. Who's going to, or the TNT Championship, I'm sorry. Who's going to take the TNT Championship off of Kyle Fletcher? And you got to think it's not going to be Ciampa, right? You got to think it's going to be Kevin Knight. I think Kevin Knight would be the perfect guy to take that belt off of him. He'd look real good with that TNT strap too.
No, yeah, I agree for sure. Speaking of Hangman and MJF, next up on the show, we have Tony Schiavone come out, and Schiavone brings out Hangman and MJF. And this is where MJF decides, is he going to go for the Texas Death Match, or what is he going to bring to the table? What's his decision? He says that he's going to flip a coin And if it's tails, then it's the Texas Death Match. If it's heads, it's a one-sided no DQ match where the rules will be no DQ rules for MJF. But if Hangman does anything dastardly, then he will get disqualified. So I already knew going into this is going to be a double-sided coin, which is exactly what it ended up being. You had MJF flip the coin. It lands on heads, which is in his favor. And he's like, there you have it. It's a one-sided no DQ match. He goes to walk off. Hangman is like, let me see that coin. And then he's like, nah, you know what? I'm out. Next thing you know, we got jet speed. We have Brody King. They force MJF back into the ring. It's a double-sided coin. Because of that, because of the coin being rigged, Tony Khan is in Tony Schiavone's ear and says that we will get Texas Deathmatch at Revolution. I thought this was what we're going with anyway. So I'm glad they did it this way. It was like comical, but also something I really liked about this whole segment was how it was a comical way to get there, but how Hangman made it serious by talking about how if he finds a bag of glass, what would MJF do? If he takes barbed wire to MJF's mouth and rips his tongue out, showing how dangerous this match is. And at this point, you got to say, this is Hangman's matchup in AEW. He's been in the most Texas Death matches. MJF been in some hardcore matches, but never in a Texas Death match. So I like how they showed that real element of MJF being in a dangerous position in this matchup. I like this whole segment.
Dude, it was fantastic from start to finish. I loved it. Like you called it the double-sided coin. That was obviously going to happen. I like how Hangman called him out on it. The match itself, dude, I cannot wait for it. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. But you got to think that, and I want to call out that I love how MJF called out that he's the one who cost the original guy the stipulation that he could never challenge for the world title again. Yeah. And basically said it cost him his AEW career. Because let's be real, that stipulation cost Cody his AEW career. So
Cody's AEW run was not the same after that.
No, it was dead. It was dead. And so it'll be real interesting. But the match itself, bro, Max is going to have someone help him win, right? Who is going to help him beat Hangman, dude?
I don't know. I said it last week. I don't see Hangman winning this matchup. No. MJF is too good right now as a champ. He just got that title back like 2 months ago. Are we going to take the title off him now just so Hangman could wrestle for the title in the future? I don't see that happening. I could see a world where Hangman loses the privilege to wrestle for the world title and then finding his way to get back into world title contention. Maybe he has a heel by going back on his word. Maybe he has to fight his way all the way from the bottom for a couple years, but I don't see MJF losing. And I know it sucks if I know it sucks if Hangman is never able to wrestle for the title again, but I don't see MJF losing. So I got to think that someone's going to help him.
Yeah, that I'm right there with you, dude. Hangman cannot win this match. I'd love for Hangman to win the match, but Hangman's not going to win the match. Max has got to hold this ball all the way to All In, where Will Ospreay is going to beat him for it, and he is going to be the heroic babyface to take the company into 2027. I really believe that's what's going to happen, and then we'll get some sort of Ospreay Swerve feud. Now I'm really getting ahead of myself, but I don't know. Would it be insane if it was Wardlow? If Wardlow came back and helped MJF? I know he hates him.
I don't even know where Wardlow is with his recovery. I know he was injured, but that would be insane. I just thought of something else. What if it's Kevin Knight? Kevin Knight, he called out Hangman for a title shot. What if MJF gets in his ear and says, hey, I'll give you that title shot, but you have to help me be Hangman? That would be interesting. We see a lot of Kevin Knight right now, and I think that would be pretty interesting if he's able to corrupt him a little bit and help,
intriguing.
Maybe it's a promise for a world title shot. Maybe, I don't know, but that would be quite shocking. We're seeing a little more Kevin Knight in singles action than ever before. So,
yeah. Unless Swerve gets involved somehow, because Swerve's going to beat Brody King at Revolution, and Swerve's going to challenge for the AEW World title at Dynasty, I think, just like he's done the last 2 years. I really think that's his path. Do we go heel versus heel? I think so, right?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, AEW, they're not sticking to any rules about, you can't go babyface versus babyface or heel versus heel. They do their own thing. I mean, that's why I wouldn't have been mad if it was Andrade versus MJF either, because they do their own thing. They make up their own rules, and that's why I love AEW. They don't stick to any unwritten rules. I see here, King says the only thing that he could see is Swerve showing up also and cost the Hangman.
There you go. There you go.
But I also do like the idea of Wardlow. If he is clear to, come back, that would be interesting. We last saw him with the Don Callis family, but I don't know. It's insane. And maybe that's how MJF is able to win the title and Hangman has an argument to get a rematch. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what actually happens.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm excited for it. Revolution is shaping up to be a fire fucking show, dude.
No, yeah, for sure. Especially with the matches that were announced later on. We're gonna get to that soon. But first, we got to talk about the AEW Women's Tag Title matchup. It was mega bad. The team of Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne versus the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. Gosh, I don't know. I had the biggest brain fog there, but Harley Cameron. Yeah, I thought the match was going decent, and then we didn't see Penelope Ford for a couple minutes, and then we had Lena Cross just randomly come out and hit Willow Nightingale with the title for a no DQ. Crowd was pissed off. I saw there was a lot of confusion. Like, why would you do that? Why would you cost your team? Yeah. But it was reported by Sean Ross Sapp. You told me this, right? It was reported by Sean Ross Sapp after the show that Penelope Ford was actually injured. So they called an audible on the spot. Where do we go from here, though? Do we see a rematch at Revolution, but it's Lena and Megan Bayne versus the Babes of Wrath? Do we move past this? Where the hell are the Iconics? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. But overall, I thought this matchup was going decent until the finish.
Oh, dude, when it was announced earlier, I texted you, or when I saw it was announced, I texted you and I was like, "The Mega Bad has to win the tag title." I was like, I don't understand why we're doing this again. They have more women's tag teams in the division, so I don't know why we're going back to the well. And then at the end, the match was great. These women have great chemistry, all four of them. The matches are always really good, but I think this is like the fourth time now that they've wrestled, and I think it's the third tag title match. So it's kind of like, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? The titles better change. If Penelope Ford legitimately got hurt, like Sean Ross Sapp reported, then I understand why they pivoted, because I feel like the Babes or Mega Bad was supposed to win the tag titles in this match. So
I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, if the injury never happened, do you think we would have saw a title change?
I do. I really do. So maybe Penelope Ford was involved in the finish and they had to just pivot. Lena Cross comes in. Now, listen, when I'm looking at the combination of those three women, Cross, Penelope Ford, and Megan Bayne, Cross and Bayne together look fucking just in
powerhouse team,
dude. Just twin towers, just massive women. I mean, Penelope Ford's an OG though, dude. She's been there from day one. Reward that woman with a fucking belt. So like, I have a hard time saying just go to the Bayne and Cross route because they look so good together when Penelope Ford has put the work and she's gotten better in the ring. And her Mega Bad's a good team, dude. Yeah. So regardless, this combination of women of Mega Bad needs to take the belts from the Babes of Wrath at Revolution. Do it put it in a street fight between the two of them, or between the two squads, and let whatever combination of Mega Bad win those belts.
Yeah, I agree. I see Ivan here. He said that Penelope Ford got hurt during the moonsault to the outside. Yeah, I could have swore that, when she did the moonsault, it looked like she took a hard landing because it looked like she fell right between them and hit the floor. But yeah, it's a shame because, she's definitely been getting better. And I would have liked to seen a title on her. Like you said, a day one wrestler with AEW. It would have been nice to see her with the title, but fortunately the injury happened. Hopefully it's not as serious and she's not out for too long. But nonetheless, I'm interested to see where they go from here. Like, the pivot was fine. I understand why you had to do that for the end of the matchup, but what are we going to do for Revolution? So let's see what happens.
I do think really quick, I'm with you, Tyler, in a couple of things that you said. Definitely AEW is the most exciting product in wrestling, period, right now. Hands down, definitely I'm there. And then he wants to see Marina Shafir and Megan and Lena be together. And I'm curious, De Niro, why do you think that they didn't just do the Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir tag team that they had been doing for the tag team titles? Why do they pivot back to Mega Bad? Do you think they just want to throw that title on an OG and go that route?
Well, I know that during the tag team title tournament, I think Penelope Ford was injured for that. That's why she couldn't team up with Megan Bayne. So now that she was back, they were going to go back to that. But I wouldn't be mad at that because I did like the team of Bayne and Shafir as well. So, I mean, but then where does Lena Cross fit in this? I don't know. I did like that Marina Shafir, Megan Bayne duo. So I don't know. It would have been interesting. Next up on the show, we got Brody King versus Mark Davis. This is a total meat matchup. What does Booker T say? No potatoes, no water, no bread, just meat.
meat.
It was definitely a fun matchup. Two hosses going in there and just beating the shit out of each other. This was the matchup I was most excited for when they announced this matchup last week on Collision, and it did not disappoint. Brody King gets the victory. He then gets on the mic. He calls out Swerve. We heard Swerve talking crazy earlier. He said he is the most dangerous man. He brings the violence to AEW. So he wants a matchup against Swerve at Revolution. But then Bandito gets on the mic. I didn't even know he was cleared to wrestle. Bandito gets on the mic and he says, I want to fight too. And then we see Andrade come out. Andrade versus Bandito is going to be a fire matchup. So this one segment sets up two matches at Revolution. I'm excited for both. What about you?
Bro, the match was fire. I love meat, dude. I love anytime two meaty men get in the ring and just fucking go at it. Two meaty men just went at it. I thought the finish was kind of weak, but again, you don't want to make either guy look weak, I guess. So whatever it is, what it is. Mark Davis has just been on fire since he's got back from injury. I think like if you did most improved wrestler on the roster, I think Mark Davis is definitely up for that award. So good on him. Brody though too. I mean, Brody's always been good, but it's really great to see Brody thrust into a position. A lot of guys get put into a position and they just kind of flounder out. This guy's thrust into the position and he is doing nothing but succeeding. And his mic work's getting better. He looks great in the ring. I can't wait to see him in Swerve. That I was so pumped when I found that out early in the night. I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna get Brody Swerve Revolution. But then Bandito says, I want to fight too, and Andrade comes out. Bro, that was dope, dude. I'm excited for both matches. I don't know which one I'm more excited for. I think I know the result of both matches. I think Swerve goes over Brody, and I think that Andrade goes over Bandito. I'm curious as to why Bandito's ROH World title is not on the line in that match. Obviously, Andrade to win probably was my thought process there. But, dude, nonetheless, stoked for both of those matches. Revolution's looking real good, dude.
No, yeah, I totally agree. I'm very excited for both of those matches too. You know, especially with the past month, Andrade's been on fire, having amazing matches against Omega, having an amazing matchup against Swerve. And I was kind of scared that Andrade was going to show out like this and then not get a spot on Revolution. So I'm glad that he will be on the card. And then him and Bandito's going to have a fire matchup. I like what Ivan said on the watch along. He said Brody King and Swerve are two guys who, they mixed it up in the past in PCW and PWG. Here he says that Brody and Swerve is going to be PWG style matchup. I cannot wait. I totally agree, and I am so excited for that. See, I think AEW Revolution is going to be better than WWE. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Who's in the crate? Fuck that. Let's see some good-ass wrestling. You know what I mean? Yes. I totally agree, Tyler. But, yeah, I'm very excited. It's definitely going to be a PWG-style matchup. I think, like you said, Swerve wins. He beats Brody, and then Andrade beats Bandito. Nonetheless, though, it's going to be a great, great matchup for both of those matches. I'm excited for it.
Dude, Revolution, again, man, as a whole, when you're looking at Hangman and MJF in a Texas death match, you're looking at Brody and Swerve, Andrade and Bandito, Moxley, Thekla, Continental Championship, no time limit. I'm assuming we're going to get Fletcher and Ciampa again. FTR and the Young Bucks. And they have told... Listen, everyone who wanted to complain about the FTR and the Young Bucks, we'll talk about that once we get into Mile High Madness. But what happened on Collision this past Saturday with the Young Bucks family and getting them involved, they had a vignette to start the show between FTR and the Young Bucks that like really, really hit home. And again, I'm not a Young Buck fan, but I'm like sitting here like, let's fucking go, Nick and Matt. I've never said that before. So
you're not going to rock the tassels? You need a little.
I might. No, I want FTR to win because I want FTR versus Cope and Christian for the tag title, so we can't get that if the Young Bucks win. So,
I mean, you could rock the tassels and still go for FTR. I mean, just rock the tassels, right?
I'm sure we can pull it off.
You just mentioned possibly getting Kyle Fletcher and Ciampa. We got Kyle Fletcher backstage here. He's cutting a promo. He's talking about how this is his title. He's the best TNT champion in TNT Championship history. And yeah, it definitely seems like they're setting up for Kyle Fletcher and Ciampa. But also something that we saw here was Okada come into the frame. He's still talking shit about Konosuke Takeshita, still throwing a little bit, gasoline to that fire, which I'm excited when they finally lock horns again, because I definitely think that their match at World's End, it was good, but after all the shit that they've been through, I think that they need a rematch. But Okada wants to team up with Fletcher. And when I heard that as a team, I was excited. Proto Okada? Bro, that would be an awesome team. Yeah. Say the Young Bucks win, right? The Young Bucks versus Proto Kata for the tag titles? Come on.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm excited for that team.
Yep. That's fun. That's fun. I'm curious who they're going to face, though. You think it's just going to be like a throwaway tag team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they have a matchup on Revolution. I know that they're set for a matchup in Collision. Let me see. I had it down for, well, it just says Proto Kata in action. So yeah, I don't know who they're going for. Who are they going against? But
yeah, well, Okada's not going to have a match at Revolution because he's probably going to cost Takeshita against Moxley and then set up that match at Dynasty, I would think.
Oh, they're going to be going against Top Flight at Collision. So interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about this main event. I've been waiting to talk about this main event. This main event is insane. Mile High Madness. It is the team of the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and the Rascals versus the Demand and FTR. And you know what? I was thinking, like, AEW gave us a little bit of a mini Anarchy in the Arena with this matchup. But something that I wrote down is, because at first I was like, this is an ECW style brawl. And then I was like, nah, you know what? This is AEW doing what AEW does. I never seen shit like this in ECW. I never seen shit like this anywhere. This is AEW showing their signature style in the main event. Again, last week we got their signature style by putting on pay-per-view style matches on weekly television. And then here we just seen absolute craziness, fun, the music playing during most of the matchup, and just crazy fucking action. Like, I loved this main event.
Dude, when I saw the match announced, I was like, that's exciting. 10 awesome fucking wrestlers. We're going to have a fun match. I had no idea that in the arena on Dynamite for free. Like, come on, man. Yeah, 10 awesome athletes. I love when FTR does the power and glory move, the superplex into the big splash. But we got the power and glory superplex into the big splash. And
on
then
steroids.
we got what we get. We got a Tonga Leoa elbow drop, and we got a Ricochet 450 afterwards.
Nasty.
And then we got some table spots right after that. And then then we had like the ending with the fucking Young Bucks throwing Jack Perry with a big Busaki knee into a Ricochet. I mean, that was sick. There's just a lot of fun spots. All the fighting in the crowd. The crowd was hot into it. Like you said, getting to listen to Tarzan Boy for like 10 straight minutes was fucking awesome, dude. And I was like, why is this song still on? I'm like, that's right. Anarchy in the Arena. We're fucking doing it, dude. But even the start of the match, it's like Jack Perry just came out and then he got jumped by all the heels. Rascals come out. They're flying all over the place, dude. And it's cool to see and everyone's did their dog in the AEW tag division, right? FTR Young Bucks. But if you're really looking at the grand scheme of things, right? We just had the Fatal 4-Way with the Rascals involved in that. You have Private Party back. You got the Gates of Agony here in this match. Again, you have the Rascals doing their thing. The Rascals just beat FTR. So I think they're really setting their tag team division up to succeed. Obviously, it gets hindered with the Trios Championships. But right now, I think the division is about to be on fire. And I want the Acclaimed back in the division. I want them to get back in that division too. So
the Acclaimed, when Jake Doyle comes back, Doyle and Davis was a crazy ass team. I love that team. This division's sick. Something I really loved, I thought it was very comical, was the crowd was counting down the tables. When there was 3 tables left around ringside, they're saying 3 more tables and then 2 more tables. That was funny. This matchup was insane. Like I said, this is just AEW doing what AEW does. This is their unique signature on wrestling, and you don't see it anywhere else. You don't see this on the indies. You don't see this in PWG. You don't see this in WWE. You don't see this in TNA. AEW has a way to make a violent match like this just seem like a party for the crowd. We see it with Anarchy in the Arena every single year. I love when the music's playing, very New Jack-like, but this is just AEW style, and I just love that we're displaying it on a weekly basis, not just waiting for the pay-per-views.
Yes. Oh, dude, Dynamite's been so fun, man. But again, when you look at this roster, I feel like it would be really hard for Tony Khan to fuck up. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not doing a great job, because I feel like I've said it over and over again for months now. AEW is the superior product in all of wrestling right now, and it's not close. From top to bottom, the roster, tag division, women's division. Last week we had two women's matches on Dynamite. I mean, when was the last time? Up and down the show. I'm loving everything that AEW is doing right now, dude. It is so hot. Every title seems like it has some significance, with the exception of what Okada's doing. But we know that he's just fucking dicking around waiting for Takesha. I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving everything that we are seeing. Collision doesn't necessarily feel like the B show, but you get a lot of wrestling on Collision as well, like from guys and girls that you don't see on Dynamite. So I love that as well. So Revolution is shaping up to be a fucking barn burner. I got about 8-9 matches in my head and a couple pre-show matches involving Death Riders and Don Callis family getting involved there, and a couple maybe a fatal 4-way tag team match with those tag teams that we just mentioned, like the Rascals Private Party, maybe getting acclaimed on there, maybe Gates of Agony, because we should see Ricochet and Jack Perry on the card for the national title. Bro, I'll stop talking. Sign me the fuck up, dude. I'm pumped, man.
I'm definitely pumped too. I see Steve O is in the chat. AEW's on fire. Yes, for sure. So looking forward to Revolution. This is shaping up to be an AEW. They always show out on their pay-per-views, but this is shaping up to be a special pay-per-view. I'm very excited for it. Before we get into what we're going to see on Collision and some of the news around the AEW world, what are you giving Dynamite this week?
I'm going to give it a solid. I'm like a 4.25. Yeah, I get a 4.25 out of 5. I thought it was if I was given last week a 4.5, I think it was just because it was the first show I was hyped. I think last week was pretty much a 4.25 too. But 4.25 out of 5. It was a very fun show from start to finish. I really did enjoy it, man. What about you?
I think that's actually what I wrote down here. I did my grade right afterwards, and it's a strong show. You know, I do feel like it was solid top to bottom, but the main event, first, the last couple matches leading to the implications of what we're going to see at Revolution, and then really finishing strong with that main event, I got to go 4.25 as well. I think it goes down a notch for the women's tag title match, but it was unfortunate because of the injury. But yeah, I mean, the last couple weeks, right? I think we had the privilege of actually coming on and talking about the main events from last week and this week, because it's just been pay-per-view style, chef kiss quality wrestling. And I'm so excited. So 4.25 for me as well. AEW is on fire, baby.
On fire, bro. On fire.
So let's talk about what we're going to see at Collision, because Collision, like you said, is no longer really looking like the B show. There is a lot going down on Collision. First, we've been seeing more of the world champion on Collision. So this week is no different. We're going to have a promo by MJF. I think that definitely makes the show feel strong as well when you have the world champion appearing on both shows. So we're going to hear from MJF. We have Top Flight versus Proto Okada, the team of Fletcher and Okada. Zeta Steel versus Tony Storm, which should be fun. Zeta Steel.
Oh, shit, dude. That's awesome. Good for her. What a rub that is, huh?
For sure. Zeta Steel, who was a standout on the Indies. I believe she was with WWE ID for a little bit, part of that.
For a couple and then she was the champion, I think. Or for Evolve? No, ID.
I know she was assigned, like, she was like the next up or whatever, like WWE ID. And then I don't know what happened there, but then she got signed to AEW, and this is definitely throwing her to the deep end to see what she could do with the top female in AEW, Tony Storm. I think this should be a really fun matchup. A matchup I'm looking forward to. We got Ciampa versus Jay Lethal. And I don't know how much of Ciampa versus Jay Lethal you saw in Ring of Honor back in the day, but they had a hell of a feud, and these two guys have great chemistry with each other. This should be a banger matchup.
Okay.
We got the Brawling Birds, who, by the way, tonight, they made it known that they don't just not give a fuck, but they don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
They're going to be in action.
I love that they were going to the bar to have a pint after they're done beating the piss out of women. I was like, let's fucking go, dude.
I love that team. Like, the name, it still has to grow on me, but I definitely love the team.
They're going to add little fucking bird references. Like, I don't give a fuck. No, that doesn't sound right. I don't give a flying fuck. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I can fuck.
That got to be a t-shirt. I don't go flying and then do the F asterisk. Come on. Got to do that.
Yeah.
We have Andrade versus Tomohiro Ishii. That should be a fun matchup.
Whoa.
Going to keep Andrade strong. Andrade, who's definitely mixing up with more New Japan guys, especially going into his matchup again. I believe it's this Friday for the IWGP champion going against Yota Tsuji.
Yes.
We have Sisters of Sin versus Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. We'll be interested to see if there's any like deception there with Statlander and Thunder Rosa, especially after the weird ominous warnings by Chris Statlander to Thunder Rosa. We'll be hearing from Thekla probably to set up that matchup on Wednesday. And in the main event, it's going to be the Don Callis family versus the Death Riders in 4-on-4 action. Again.
What did they say? Which 4?
They showed on the graphic, but it was during the main event. It was hard to really like.
Oh man, damn it! I wrote down for my pre-show match for Revolution. I'm on Claudio, Pack, Danny, and Wheeler against Alexander, Clone, Davis, and Archer. If they do that on Collision, I'm gonna be pissed, dude. I fucking prematurely booked it.
Show it to the screen right now, so if no one could say that you. There you go. No one could say that you just said that. Just said that. It was proven here first. But yeah, right. I'm excited because they have great chemistry. Both of those teams, they always put on great matches. But if we're seeing these 4-on-4 matches on a weekly basis, whether it's on Dynamite or on Collision, then what do you do at Revolution with these two teams?
Well, I would have thought that's where you break out the 4-on-4 is you do it at Revolution on the pre-show and you let them go for like 15 minutes and fight all around the arena for a little bit and call it a day. But maybe nothing. Revolution's stacked, bro. Like maybe there's just not a spot, dude. Like maybe, which is unfortunate because these 8 guys are fucking killing it, right? All of them. Claudio's just, I don't know, man. That guy is just so good for what is he? Everyone likes to talk about these other guys and their age for how old they are and how good they are. This guy is just fucking deadlifting dudes left and right. So what a beast. But I digress. But I don't know. I don't know what you can do. Maybe an elimination match, but you'd have to put that on the main show. You can't do that on the pre-show.
Yeah, shit. At this point, I mean, I'm not mad at pay-per-view quality matches on a weekly basis. I see a bunch of people like, oh, AEW stupid for giving this away on free TV. Bruh, who could be mad at pay-per-view quality matches? And it's not like the pay-per-view suffer from these matches being on free TV. It's not like, oh, well, they blew their load with their matches on Dynamite, so the pay-per-view sounds lackluster. The pay-per-view sounds more stacked somehow than these weekly television shows that AEW puts on that also includes pay-per-view style matches. So, I mean, that's what they do. That's their signature. I love it.
And like, what a great job they've done of building up these guys. Like Brody King and Andrade over the last two months. I mean, how much more important do these guys feel just being involved around the world title picture? They feel like real main event caliber players, or real like upper echelon at least caliber players. It's really, they've done a good job elevating these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting comment by Tyler here, going back to the women. I didn't even think about this. We were talking about what they could do at AEW Revolution. What if they do Willow Nightingale versus Megan Bayne for the TBS champion? Totally forgot that she's also the TBS champion as well. I wouldn't be mad at that.
For the love of God, just put one of those 2 fucking titles on Megan Bayne. I don't care which one it is. Just put one of those. And I love Willow. It's no disrespect to Willow, but put one of those 2 fucking titles on that woman, please.
Yeah, I agree. Ivan says, I'm telling you, got to give it to Tony Khan golf clap. He's booking his stories. Yo, I always thought that there were stories in AEW. They were very different than the WWE stories, but I always thought that he had stories. But right now, he's really showing that he's not just giving really good wrestling. He's incorporating a lot of stories with this really good wrestling. So I agree. You got to give it to TK. All right. So news, kind of a slow news week for AEW, which, it's okay because the shows are bangers. So it's not like, there's nothing going on in AEW. But I did want to talk about one thing that came out in the news. And it was that I believe starting in March, Ring of Honor will no longer be recorded before Collision. Ring of Honor is going to be its own recording in the studio over in Jacksonville, Florida. I personally think that this is a plus. Too often did Ring of Honor feel like AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation, and it lost kind of its feel. There was all this talk about restoring the feeling for AEW. I feel like you really got to restore the feeling for Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has been around since 2002. It was the top indie. It's something that meant a lot to me. I went to hundreds of Ring of Honor shows in New York from 05-ish to 2014-ish. So I always wanted to see ROH get back to that level that they were. I don't think it's going to get there right away by just, recording it somewhere else. But I do think that this is a great first step by giving it its own platform to really grow and not having it rushed as a pre-show for Collision. I think that this is a plus. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I have a lot of negative opinions of the AEW ROH brand that we've seen over the last few years. And it's not because I love it for the talent, right? Like he's given so much talent and opportunity to work. So I love that. But I just hate the inconsistency of who's allowed to be on Dynamite or who's allowed to be on the AEW side that's on ROH and who's not, like Athena. Athena's sporadic use over the last 4 years is just like mind blowing to me. You have one of the greatest wrestlers. I mean, she's fucking held that belt for 1,100 days now or something crazy like that. like, which is cool. That's awesome. It's history. She wants to do it. Whatever. I mean, who am I, right? But at the end of the day, I think that what you just said is a great first start. Then they need some real roster separation, and they need to figure out who's actually going to be NXT and just build that roster up. So if all these guys are Dark Elevation, like you said, like we're talking about MXM and we're talking about Deonna Purrazzo and we're talking about people like that, Taya Valkyrie, immensely talented people in my opinion, but just put them in ROH and let them, Jay Lethal and the Swirl, Blake Christian, like let them go. Let ROH kind of be like NXT. And I'm not saying like I like copy the exactly, but kind of let them go be their own NXT style show where you have veterans down there, you have the youngsters, but just have them on their own brand. So if Blake Christian's on ROH, then Blake Christian's just on ROH. Bandito, if he's the ROH World Champion, you're not going to see him on Dynamite and not defending his ROH World title in a one-on-one match against Andrade. Like, you know, again, make it make sense, right? So great start. I absolutely love it, dude. And I'd like to see it on HBO Max or something along those lines as well.
Yeah, I see Ivan saying that too. They need a TV program. Yeah, you know, their app, they have the Honor Club app. I do think that it's not doing justice to the product because whenever I do tune into Ring of Honor or I see the pay-per-views that they put on sporadically, it's always a fun show. It's always a fun, you know, sit down. It's basically AEW, but with that ROH, you know, coat of paint. But I do feel like you really should be showcasing it as something that is special for the fact that I like everything I just said before, like Ring of Honor been around for going on 2002. So 24 years. I believe they just had their anniversary too. February 22nd was the first show for ROH. You know, it has a ton of history. I would love if ROH had the video library on Honor Club. That's cool. Keep that. But they need their weekly show on a platform like HBO Max where more people could tune in. If not HBO Max, then at least put it on YouTube to make sure that there's more eyes on the product because that's what there is. There's no eyes on the product. If you ask the average person, Ring of Honor is dead if they don't know about everything that's going on with ROH. So you got to get more eyes on the product, whether that's YouTube for the time being until you can get it on the HBO Max, but they need eyes on the product. This is a good first step. Maybe they're doing this because that's the plan. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, like the roster, they already have STP promotions, dude. Stacked ass faction. LFI with Sammy Guevara doing awesome things. The Von Erich bros. There's a lot. Billy Starks is amazing, man. The Queen Aminata, let her be over there. When like if Buddy Murphy comes back, let him be over there. Like make him world champion of ROH or something. Like focus the brand around him. They have so much.
Deonna Purrazzo, like come on,
right? Like right. Deonna Purrazzo, right there. Like Athena does not need to be the ROH Women's Champion, dude. Deonna Purrazzo doesn't need to be the pure champion. Deonna Purrazzo could be the Ring of Honor Women's Champion running that show. Like she's so good. But again, I can sit here for days and talk about what I would do to fix ROH. But this is a great start, and let's implement that roster they have and get them on. Dude, YouTube would be great because, like you said, a lot of people think ROH is dead if you don't know AEW. I'll be real, man. Even a lot of AEW fans think ROH is dead just because. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the talent or even how the show is booked itself. Because as you said, those pay-per-views, when I throw them on, I really do enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. Shit, I think I only watch their pay-per-views. That's how I kind of keep up with ROH. I just throw their pay-per-views on. So yeah. I think it's a great first start, though.
I definitely agree, man. Well, I thought that was another great show. Great show.
Yeah, an hour flew by, dude. It sure did.
Time flies when you're having fun. And it's always fun talking to you about AEW.
Yes. What match right now are you most excited for Revolution?
God, that's hard because that whole card is stacked. But I do got to say the main event. I got to say MJF and Hangman Page just because I don't know where they go with this because the stipulation is so crazy. It would be one thing if it was just Texas Deathmatch. It would be like, all right, cool. You know, we've seen Hangman in this matchup times before, but you add that added stipulation that if he loses, he can never wrestle for that title again. I have no idea what they're going to do with that. I see Steve-O says Mox versus Takeshita. That's going to be a banger. There's so much, just so much to like really feed off of. That's such a great card on paper, but just the unpredictability of the main events really got me intrigued. What about you?
Man, I hate to piggyback on you with the main event. Definitely up there for me. I'm with Steven with Mox and Takeshita, but I'm going to throw a curveball in them for all the hate that's out there. FTR and the Young Bucks. They've never put on a bad match. They're going to want to do work in California, and I can't wait to see it. So I'm going to go with FTR and the Young Bucks.
I love it. I love it. Let the people know where they could catch you.
Yeah, man, you can find me on Twitter, The Tim King Show. You can find me right here on the Debate Network each and every Wednesday night doing this with my guy, De Niro. Check out the website. Everything that we do right here on the Debate Network is over on the website, GameBreakerSports.com. That's GameBreakerSports.com. I got a bunch of, I run 4 different fantasy promotions where I diversify all the rosters of AEW, WWE, and I make them into a bunch of different rosters, and I book for days. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check out the website, GameBreakerSports.com. I had a blast again tonight, De Niro. Thank you. Thank you, man. It's a great time, dude.
Thank you, man. I had a blast as always. Make sure you follow the podcast here on Circle Debate. Hit that subscribe button. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at AEW.podcast. Dude, it was a blast. But until next time, I love you all. Peace out.
Like a CEO, I'm on like an athlete pro. I party like a rock star show. I live every